But what we do is we have the president makes a speech, and then we have someone from the other political party makes like a rebuttal speech.
Yeah, okay.
Now, I'm going to be honest. I did watch the State of the Union. I did not watch the rebuttal speech.
Who did? Is that the one that everyone's talking about with the
some lady in a kitchen?
Yeah, where
did
she use a story that was old about a woman getting
Eve?
Yeah,
you're talking about. She was talking about Adam and Eve.
Yeah, I believe so.
But I didn't watch that. But I am here to give my own rebuttal to it. So the beginning of Joe Biden's speech was all about Ukraine. It's one of those things that I don't know anybody. I know a lot of people who think about politics frequently, and very few people that don't do that I know think about Ukraine even for a second. I'm sorry, Ukrainians, if you're listening to this, that's just the facts. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. It was scary for like the first month, and now everyone's kind of like, all right, it's just one of those other things in the news. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a thing. But, he comes out, he's like, this nation faces unprecedented crises, blah, 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 which is not true. All these crises have precedents. In fact, most of these crises were just present in his speech last year. But he's talking about, Putin. He's like, Putin's not going to stop at Ukraine, which I think he will, because the next one's Poland, and I don't know, who wants that, It's like, if the British are any example, Putin in like 5 years is going to be like, well, no more Polish waiters. And if he takes a couple of the Baltic countries, I'm like, okay, let him have it.
You're handing over Lithuania.
I'm just like that. I don't feel like they've reckoned with their role in the Holocaust, to be completely honest. They haven't.
What do you mean? What happened with?
Well, there was heavy collaboration in a lot of the Baltic countries, which there was in a lot of places. I'm not going to say that they're unique in that aspect, but they smoked a lot of us out there. And the sort of historical reckoning that happens in some countries, although certainly not enough of those Eastern European countries, but that happens in some of these countries, just did not happen in the Baltic countries. And so, like, their collaboration with, and it's worse in some than, like, Estonia, I think, I think Estonia is the worst offender, but I kind of get Latvia and Lithuania mixed up sometimes, so, But they're all pretty bad on it. And they're like, the collaborators have become sort of like national heroes in the same way like Stepan Bandera kind of has too in Ukraine. Yeah. And so I'm like, you know what? If he wants to deal with that, I just don't think we should start a war over that. You know what I mean? Those should all just be one country anyways. You don't have to comment on this because I know you go on TV sometimes. But I'm just saying, I think he's probably going to stop at Ukraine. But who better to ask about this than moral arbiter Piers Morgan, who I'm calling now?
This is the Vodafone voicemail service for 217. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hello, this is Rachel Jake from the podcast Chapo Trap House. I was wondering if you could just answer a quick question for me over whether you think Putin will stop at Ukraine or gobble up them motherfucking Baltic countries like a hungry man at a turkey dinner. Thank you, Piers. Well, he didn't pick up because he's probably too busy snogging.
Yeah, he's probably snogging.
He's probably snogging right now.
He's always snogging.
I will say this. My message to Ukraine, and I say this with a lot of love, time to pack it in, boys. Sometimes you just got to take the loss and keep it pushing. It's time to negotiate because I got to tell you, Zelensky firing this army chief, Zalzhuni or whatever, you're not going to like it when he runs for president. And I just between you and me, Zelensky, I would keep the next elections canceled. And here's the thing. A lot of you listeners pointed out that, yes, TrueAnon got the invasion wrong. We said that Russia wouldn't invade, and then they invaded basically the next day. But you know what? If I had to go back in time and make that prediction again, knowing what I know now, I'd make the same prediction to keep myself humble. Because you can't always be right all the time. So then Biden talked about January 6th. Did you guys have that there?
Yeah.
But like, have you guys done something like that there?
What did we do? Yeah, I made a Catholic gag earlier. I am Catholic. Do you want to put that on the record? Mm-hmm. I'm not Protestant. No. And we tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament, didn't we?
For what? There's that little boys in there.
Yeah, well, because it was a Catholic movement. We got in there. Guy Fawkes. Yeah. The cool. That cool. V for Vendetta. The cool mask.
That was real.
Yeah.
That was like a documentary?
No, it's based on Remember the 5th of November. You got to
Yeah.
remember it.
No, I saw the movie. I mean, I understand like the.
Oh, you get it? Yeah. You're Alan Moorhead, are you?
Well,
A little.
yeah. I mean, he's got that mask on.
Sure.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I mean, but Guy Fawkes, was the guy that they was a group of Catholics, my boys, tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament, put a load of gunpowder underneath it.
Yeah.
And then they got caught.
They got caught.
They got
You
caught,
gotta
and then
avoid that.
their heads on pikes, and they Tower of London.
Yeah, I know
All
about
that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
it's
got
pretty
it, yeah.
famous. I know about that. Well, we did that, except it worked.
Right,
We did
right.
January 6th. So Biden's talking about that, and this is
Yeah.
it's been a pretty useful like kind of thing to be like, you guys did January 6th, you fucking idiots. It's kind of losing that now because most of those guys are in prison. But I will say, if you do want to play a board game based around the events of January 6th, go to www.stormthecapitolboardgame.com to get yours now. So then Biden starts talking about in vitro fertilization and abortion for a while, which obviously that's been a big thing.
What does he? What's his? Isn't he weird on abortion?
I mean, he's Catholic.
Yeah.
He says he's like pro Roe v. Wade. He's like he can't be anti-abortion just with the political coalition he built. I'm not really sure that if you asked him to define what an abortion is right now, that he would be able to coherently answer you.
Can you get eggs like that?
Yeah, exactly. But